Coming up on Midco Sports tonight, the prep scene in North and South Dakota has been wild these past few days. Jody and Jandy get us caught up on all the high school hoopla from the hardwood. Then we'll hear from Dave, Craig, and TJ. Find out what the head coaches of the Dakota Summit League teams have to say heading into tournament play. And finally, it's a huge weekend for UND hockey. Alex Heiner previews their final home series of the regular season versus the NCHC's top team in St. Cloud State. All of that plus much more. Midco Sports Tonight tips off right now. Good evening and happy Friday, everyone. I'm Kelly Stewart, and this is Midco Sports Tonight. We have been conference tournament heavy on this show the past 2 weeks, with the NSIC tournament taking place last weekend, and of course the Summit League tournament beginning tomorrow right here in Sioux Falls. But we start today off on the prep scene because March Madness is in full effect at the high school ranks as well. And for more on that, I am joined right here by Jason Andera with one of the fanciest ties I have ever seen. The first time wearing it today, right?
Fancy?
Yes.
It is pretty cool, I'll give you that. The basketball tie, the first time I've worn it. Yes, I've had this tie for several years, but I'm so excited about basketball, Kelly.
Oh my gosh.
I could not hide my emotions. I put it right out on my tie.
Swag. Well, anyway, 16 teams remained in Class A girls basketball last night. And just the winners would advance to the state tournament in Watertown next week. So, Jandy, it was an exciting round of 16. Tell us about it from last night.
Yeah, this is the second year that Class A has used the Sweet 16 format. And this year, plenty of great matchups, but not a lot of upsets. But a lot of drama to go around, and we've got some highlights to get you started. Let's start in Madison, where the 12-seeded Flandreau Flyers take on the 5-seed West Central Trojans, and the Trojans pulled out a low-scoring 49-42 victory. They held on to the lead the entire night, even though Flandreau came back at the end. Ashlyn McDonald led the way for the Trojans. She hit 3 threes.
Tonight, we really needed to push the ball a lot and work together as a team. Our defense is very ferocious, and we showed that tonight. So, in the locker room, we always talk about how the third quarter's ours, and we know that, and we come out strong to start the game and usually come out really strong to start the third quarter, too. So that's what we needed to do.
We played some very good defense tonight, and that kept us in it. We had a rough second quarter. We got great looks, but our defense was pretty solid, and we were able to stay on top.
Now let's move on to the Corn Palace. There were 2 games there. McCook Central Montrose was in search of their first state tournament appearance since co-oping 10 years ago, and they faced Miller for the right to punch their ticket. That's Morgan Kepsel right there. She led a second-half charge, finished with 29 points in their 59-47 win.
You know, we came from behind kind of all season. We've had a lot of big games like this. We had to fight the whole way. Miller gave us a heck of a game. They are a talented bunch of girls. We stepped up in that second half and made some big defensive stops that we needed, and we came through.
You know, I've had feelings like this for a long time, and I've been so close, and I was hoping like crap it would happen, but it finally did.
Well, it means everything. It means everything. Last year we were in the Sweet 16 and just came up short. They remember that. You know, this is big time for them. We're super excited.
All right, let's look at the 7-10 matchup back in the Corn Palace again. We had Roncalli and Todd County. The Cavs used a 10-0 fourth quarter run to shut down Todd County and get to the tournament for the first time in 5 years. Grace Imbury led with 17 points.
In the fourth quarter, we got down by 4, and then went on a 10-0 run. You know, hitting a couple big shots and really defending well, I thought, down the stretch of the basketball game.
All right, let's move the Sweet 16 to T, where there were 2 big matchups and 2 close finishes. In the first game of the night, Lennox matched up with Madison. And Lennox got it going early, but even a 10-point lead wasn't safe with the upset-minded Bulldogs lurking. The Dogs got 9 points from Jesse Giles in the final 2 minutes of the game to complete that comeback. That was the hoop that tied the game. This is the hoop that took the lead in the final minute of the game, and they win 51-47, biggest upset of the first round.
Where at the end we had to do something to try to create a few turnovers, and the girls were just able to dig in and finish hard and pull out that, you know, more higher pressure defense at the end to get a couple turnovers and just kind of make them get a little more panicky, I guess, if you will.
With our team, we can come back from any deficit, and the game's not over until it's over.
More drama from T in their gym. Both Del Rapids and Vermilion spent much of the year in the top 5, but they drew each other for the right to keep playing for a championship. Vermilion and Dells, they went up about a month ago against each other. It was a 2-point game. This time, a 3-point result. Vermilion got hot. It was Ms. Melstead with 5 3-point buckets in that game, and they got the 3-point lead, 51-48, to advance to the next round.
I guess to be brutally honest, we going into the Sweet 16 game, we weren't really happy about the team we got matched up with. We knew Del Rapids was, really, really good. And we kind of told our girl, we beat them by 2 in the regular season, and we figured it'd be the exact same type of game. So we had a lot of kids make plays tonight. Our 2 seniors, Casey Jensen, Hallie Melstead, came up with big games, and they carried us tonight.
Great night for Hallie Melstead and the Vermilion Tanagers as they make it to the state tournament coming up next week. Here's the bracket. You'll see Belle Fourche and St. Thomas More. They came in as the top 2 seeds, and they got it done with no problem last night to advance to the state tournament. Crow Creek also got some revenge over Pine Ridge to earn a 6th seed at the state tournament. Madison was the lone upset of the Sweet 16 round, which will set them up against, guess who, the top-seeded Belle Fourche Bronx next Thursday in Watertown. The Class B girls also had their round of 16 games last night. Trip Delmont Armor faced Wabash Summit in the 7-10 matchup in Madison last night. These 2 teams came into the contest a combined 39-5 record, but it was TDA who led by 14 going into the final period and sealed the win, 55-50.
We worked on definitely covering the post because they're obviously a little bit bigger than us, and then just boxing out, getting the rebound, and pushing because we're faster than a lot of most teams. Awesome. This is the first time ever as TDA that we're going to state. It's amazing.
We were outsized in this game, but I thought that we did a good job trying to take away number 22, and they got hot from the 3-point line. It got interesting there in the 3rd quarter, but we handled their run and came out on top.
What a cute baby. With the clean microphone, I'm sure. That was Madeline Reiner's birthday, too. She led the team in scoring for TDA on her birthday to earn a trip to state. First time they've done that since becoming a co-op. And they get to play the top-seeded Faith Longhorns in the first game of the day. Faith and Hanson, by the way, the number 1 and 2 seeds, both barely survived their Sweet 16 games. Hanson needed a strong second-half comeback to beat Timberlake by just 1 point, and Faith almost got knocked off by the 16 seed. And then there was the defending champ, Sully Buttes. They made it back to the tournament, 59-56 win. That was a double overtime game, so the top 3 seeds in this thing are treading on really, really shallow water. The only seed upsets were actually that TDA game that we showed you earlier, and then Avon, who got a mild 9/8 win with Lawrence Seas leading the way, and they come in as the 7th seed at state. A lot of drama with this new format in the Sweet 16 round, and I think it really lived up to some of the billing that we had hoped that it would.
And what a cute baby.
What a cute baby.
All right, Jandy. So state A and B for girls are set for next week, but in AA, there's some elimination games going on tonight, actually, in the Sweet 16. So what games are you looking forward to?
Yeah, we talked about A having their Sweet 16 for the last 2 years now, but AA now goes to that format, and I think we could see some upsets, and it could probably will be more similar to the A's and the B's, though. Maybe just 1 or 2 upsets. That 7-10 matchup that we are looking up on the list between Pierre and Washington could be really good. We've seen Mitchell play really well this year in games against highly seeded teams. They take on a Brandon Valley team who hasn't really been at their best over the last couple of weeks. So I think either of those games could be upsets. Let's take a look at the full bracket right now of what the games are coming up. And you see my picks. I've got Aberdeen Central over Yankton. That one, the 116 matchup. Brookings at home taking on Rapid City Central. And then Rapid City Stevens, they've had a couple injuries the last couple weeks. I think it's going to be tough for them against Sioux Falls Roosevelt. I think that game will be closer than a lot of people think. And then Harrisburg Sturgis, Harrisburg with the hometown advantage, and they have not been playing their best coming down the stretch either. Sturgis looking to pull off an upset. O'Gorman takes on Spearfish. O'Gorman will be at home, probably one of the hotter teams in the entire class. Brandon Valley Mitchell, we talked about a potential upset game. Lincoln playing as well as anybody in the state right now. And that 7-10 game, Pierre is a team to watch for. I know Washington has some good seniors that have played really well over the last month, but this Pierre team is coming in hot right now.
All right, so the girls AA tonight, but tomorrow the boys AA round of 16. More thrilling games, so kind of break those down for us.
Yeah, the Sweet 16 on the boys' side is going to be a lot of fun. We've got 2 Rapid City teams at the top of the seeding. We did not see this coming into the year. and they will host games tomorrow night for the right to play at the state tournament. That's really exciting for the Black Hills community because they've got some electric players. There's one of them, Caleb Walton Blandon, and to me, it looks like the best first-round game might be really that Washington-Roosevelt game. That's the 5-12 matchup that you always see in the brackets that have the potential for upsets. I think we're in the same situation here with Roosevelt possibly being able to pull off an upset. And then, of course, Aberdeen Central. This is a team that's really caught fire lately, but they're going against Matthew Moores and one of the toughest players in the entire class. Anything can happen when he gets on a court. He's shown that he can lift his team to victory. We've seen Aberdeen in the last half of this regular season get really hot, but Yankton has got a lot of firepower, and it's not just Moores who can get it done. Let's look at the rest of the games in the round of 16 coming up on Saturday. Rapid City Stevens, the #1 team, going against Pierre. Pierre's Peyton Zabel, by the way, has put up multiple 30-point games over the last couple weeks. That could be a game that might be a little more interesting than people think. Sioux Falls Lincoln will host Huron. They're starting to get back to 100%. Harrisburg is at home against Watertown. Watertown's gone on the road and beaten some pretty good teams this year, and Harrisburg coming off 2 straight losses. That's twice this year. Harrisburg's had 2-game losing streaks. Not really where they want to be entering this weekend, but tons of great games. Saturday night, you're going to see Summit League games. You're going to have great Sweet 16 games going on all over the state of South Dakota. It's going to be some wonderful basketball.
I love this time of the year, but it's more than this weekend because next Tuesday we finish out the state tournament spots when Class A and Class B for the boys finalize their state tourney stuff going in their round of 16. So what are the storylines for that Sweet 16?
Yeah, so Class A and B boys are one step behind the rest of the classes. They're finishing up their region tournaments right now, and you just have to be a top 2 team in your region to advance to the next round. And the games I'll be keeping my eye on, definitely tonight's Vermilion Dakota Valley game. You've got one of the best players in the state in A.J. Plitzawhite taking on the #2 team in Region 4A, Dakota Valley. And as far as Class B goes, same situation. The regions all play out tonight. We'll see who plays in the Sweet 16 games next Tuesday. But I think Region 5 is the one to watch for. I think there's 4 quality teams in Region 5. Bridgewater, Emory, Irene-Wakonda, Canastota, and Viborg-Hurley all really could make some damage at the state tournament, but only 2 of those teams will get to advance to even the Sweet 16, let alone the tournament next week. So a lot of great basketball still to be played. We'll get you all set up for the state basketball previews next Wednesday. And then the following Wednesday, we'll have another state preview for the rest of the tournaments that happen in South Dakota.
All right, great stuff. Thank you so much, Jandy.
Can't wait.
All right, when we come back, we're talking more prep hoops, this time in North Dakota. Jody Norstead gives us an inside look at the Stanley boys basketball team who's looking to take home a title in this year's state tournament. You're watching Midco Sports Tonight.